Pharisees, alas, for you Pharisees, you who pay your tithe of mint and rue, and all sorts of garden herbs, and overlook justice and the love of God. These you should have practiced without leaving the others undone. Alas for you Pharisees, who like taking the seats of honour in the synagogues and being greeted obsequiously in the market squares. Alas for you, because you are like the unmarked tombs that men walk on without knowing it. A lawyer then spoke up. Master, he said, when you speak like this, you insult us too. Alas for you lawyers also, he replied, because you load on men burdens that are unendurable, burdens that you yourselves do not move a finger to lift. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
The Gospel will go away all our sins. Again, we moved into the second chapter of St. Paul's letter to the Romans. Remember how his opening chapter was that of his mission statement in effect, and then a condemnation of those who refuse to see the evidence of God in creation that abounds all around us, and to give due credit and worship and glory and honour to God through Jesus Christ. Now he's addressing the question of judgment. This letter to the Romans is perhaps one of Paul's later letters, maybe even one of the latest, because we know indeed his time in Rome ended in captivity and his ultimate death, of course, too. So it would represent his more mature or recollected thought and his more important words, perhaps, too, that he's seeking to convey. So he's speaking today to us about the question of judgment, and that echoes exactly what's in the Gospel for us. Judge not, that you shall not be judged. And that if we are inclined to judge others, then we're not behaving any differently from those whom we are judging. We're standing in condemnation, we're standing over them in some way superior to them, when God alone is the only one with the authority and the entitlement to judge anyone. Who knows what's going on in the heart and the life of the person whom we seek to cast judgment about. And what authority have we when we can't even judge ourselves, and not even knowing ourselves exactly. We excuse ourselves so easily and accuse others at the same time so easily, when the reverse is the case. We need to accuse ourselves and excuse others. So it's a very healthy practice to seek to grow in charity by making excuses for others, what we would otherwise consider as misbehavior, and to certainly pray for those whom we see perhaps in need of prayer, maybe for one reason or another they are in need of prayer. But God has no favourites, and honour and peace will come to those who seek to do good. So in seeking to grow in charity is how we grow in goodness, and indeed the favour of God too. The Lord is very strident, likewise, with those who ought to know better. The Pharisees, they have all their lists of rules, hundreds of different rules to do with washing the inside of cups and pots and bronze dishes. All of these things wearing broader phylacteries and longer tassels, and this expression of being greeted obsequiously in the market squares, this kind of deference that you see in the royal courts. You see it dramatized on TV. And that's not, again, the Lord, when he came, we know, came to serve, not to be served, washing the feet of others, and not taking the head of the table, again, seeking the lowest place. That's the path we need to strive toward, or to maintain, to be on. So the Pharisees and the lawyers, they come up for a fair bit of condemnation there. But the Lord is entitled to judge. He knows well. He is God, of course, altogether. So, they're attending to the minutiae of mint and rue and herbs and things, but overlooking the justice and the love of God, he says. So they're taking it as insulting, and the Lord perhaps means it in the form of a merciful judgment and condemnation of their practice, their contradictory behaviour, and their hypocrisy. So we must each examine our own conscience in that regard in relation to judgment of others and in relation to external observances when it is the internal path of faith and life of grace and charity that is